and then guests will jump in, right? Go out. Come on in.
I recognise that tune. I've used that in my videos.
Come on then, Poochie. There you go. Sounds like we're in a lift. Or a hose.
John, have you got a pair of headphones, bro?
Pair of headphones.
All right, we're live, guys. We're on.
Headphones, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So while everyone piles in, just hello to everyone joining. We're joined by Lee from the Carve admin, John Goff, who is a LaCroix rider, and Alex, the man himself. Do you, John and Alex, do you want to just introduce yourself? Because I'm sure everyone knows me and Lee.
I've known John for like we've spoken a bunch of times on Facebook. Like I know your name perfectly, but we'd never actually spoken, so it's exciting. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah,
to be
it's
here.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah. We've shared some jokes. We've shared some jokes. Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. No, it's fun. Good to see you guys.
So do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are? And
Oh, sure. Yep. So I run the Lacroix board company. Now we used to just do high-end electric skateboards, and now we just launched a new product, which is an electronic speed controller that you can use in pretty much anything that has wheels. And so we're very excited to be, launching that in the first few steps of having that out there and having people test it, and we're just very excited with everything that's been going on. So can't wait for you guys to try it. Actually, it's really very exciting.
I'd love to try your board. I tried. I put an Instagram post up just the other day. Me trying the old one.
Yeah.
In Hyde Park, but the Nazaire I haven't tried yet.
Yeah. It's a fun machine. It's definitely a fun machine. Yeah. We've got some. We've got some things up our sleeves as well. So excited.
I'm sure there'll be questions about that later on. I've got a little list of community as well of like.
No worries.
See what's coming up. I think John's just having problems with his phone. He will be back.
Yeah, his headphones. They logged him out.
Bring him back in.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry, my phone kicked me out.
No worries, man. It was perfect timing. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself to the stream?
Yeah, so hi guys, my name's John. I've been skating for probably 2.5 years now. Been riding Lacroix last year and this year. I'm just probably what you would call a fan skater, like intermediate. I'm not professional or anything like that. I just enjoy getting out on the group rides and just having a good time with the guys, really. Just carving, chilling, and just having a skate as much as often, really. That's about as much as I'm involved. Just whenever I can get out, if the sun's shining, I'm riding.
Yeah, you're quite a keen rider because you guys come up from the southwest all the way up to London to our events as well. We see quite a lot.
To Paris, mate. We went to Paris. We went to Devon. Like anywhere where there's an event, if it's on, then me and my board will most likely be there. Maybe not the best rider in the world, but definitely always having fun.
Nice.
Always there, always turning up, man. It's just really cool.
For sure.
Billy, how's it going, dude? So we've got questions coming in already, so I'm just going to jump straight into some community questions before they just appear on the screen. Do you want to tell us how LaCroix came about?
Yep. I feel like I'm always repeating myself. This story it's got to become boring for some people who've heard it before, but essentially I was a very miserable patent lawyer looking for a way to go to work, and I built myself a DIY board based on the fact that Evolves had dropouts, and that I just couldn't. I wouldn't take the risk of buying one back then. So that was 2017, and so I don't know if it's true or not, but there were a lot of stories about people just, and so learned about a DIY community, that people were actually building them. They were actually reliable with dinky little RC car remotes that seemed to do the job and didn't disconnect. So found two guys here in Montreal that were charitable enough to teach me the inner workings of a high-end electric skateboard, and that's how we started. Actually, the two guys, one has been working with me from the start. It's GF, known as the Wizard, and the other one is Charles, who was previously the inertian engineer, who was based here in Montreal, but inertian engineer, and now he's joined Lacroix since inertian went under. So
you came to the market straight, setting the bar quite high.
I wasn't interested in doing a budget. It's just not my style. I like to go. I like quality. I like to go fast. I guess I like expensive things. So
yeah, the range is you're seriously known for the range. I saw a post the other day. Someone had gone from all the way in Scotland up to Loch Lomond, ridden around.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
40 miles or something. He'd done. He came back and he'd used half his battery.
Yeah, you could do. Some people have done 85 miles on a Lone Star. Yeah,
that's a lot more.
It's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's crazy, like how it opens up your. You can go for the whole afternoon. Come back, and just like skate it all day. Like it's nuts. It's not.
Well, before I had my LaCroix, I used to take my car, and then I'd take my car to where I was going to ride. Now I just jump on my board and then ride. Wherever I'm going, I ride there, ride the group ride, come back, ride my board back.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing for me. Like it's both, like, of course, like the sensation, the adrenaline. I mean, it's literally laser logoed on our motors, so there's no, we're not hiding the fact that I love it. But it's also like the freedom and like just the fact that you can, just get your mind off of all the shit that's going on and Trump and bullshit.
It's serious therapy. We were just before you guys came on. Eskate is just like it's the answer to everything,
Yeah. So that's how it started, and then the history behind the name Nazare. Nazare is the name of a community in Portugal near Praia do Norte, which hosts basically the biggest wave in the world. And so when we first started working on the model, and then I took it out and like started toying with it, I felt like when I really get my stance really low and I pull the trigger, I'm like, man, this is probably what they feel on that wave.
So I was going to ask you the correct pronunciation, because everyone calls it the Nazare.
Yeah, I think it's Portuguese. I think the city is named Nazare.
Okay, so I've been pronouncing it wrong all this time, along with everyone else.
I think we've lost Alex, right?
Is he just frozen up?
He's frozen up.
All right, we'll give him a sec to come back.
So, John, while we wait for Alex, dude, what's your favourite part of owning a LaCroix? What's your favourite part of the board?
I would say I'm a big guy. So before I owned my LaCroix, I had a GTX. And for me, it was a brilliant board. I loved it. But once I upgraded and got my first LaCroix, it was just the stability at speed. So I went from topping out at 20 mile an hour on my GTX to all of a sudden I'm carving at 30 mile an hour, and the exhilaration level was just like exponentially more, like when you're topping out at 20 and you're for me, I was scared to kind of carve at that speed because the Evolve just didn't feel quite as stable. But both my prototype and my Nazare, I know when I'm punching that button and I'm hitting past those 30 mile an hour digits, I know that the stability is there. So for me, as a bigger guy, it was just so much more of a safe feeling doing the high speeds and high speed maneuvers, because obviously I think for a bigger guy, it's a perfect board. GTX was brilliant. I had a lot of fun, but just not anywhere near the level of fun that I get from going 40-mile-an-hour on either of my boards, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they're not even the same. They're not even in the same class of board, are they?
Well, it's good fun. Like, I enjoyed my time on my Evolve, but it just opened the door to me to want to go faster. And LaCroix took me to a place where I don't want to go any faster than what I can go on my LaCroix. To be honest, 40-mile-an-hour is enough for me. Once that asshole starts twitching at 40-mile-an-hour, I don't need to go any faster than that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. For sure. And have you had any bad stacks on it so far?
Oh yeah, fucking hell, yeah. But I think that comes with the territory. If you're going to ride these things and you're going to have maximum amount of fun, you're going to push it to the edge and you're going to come off. But as long as you're wearing the correct protective gear, like I wear padded shorts, I've got hard knee pads, I've got full face helmet, elbow pads, wrist guards. And I know when I come off, as long as I'm not breaking bones, then I'm going to be riding again in a couple of days.
Cool. Alex, is your sound on?
Yeah, I can hear. Sorry, guys. I was in the sun, and I think I overheated my computer.
Your sound is breaking up a little bit for us.
I am still. God damn it.
Might be best to log out and log back in, bro.
Okay, I'll do that.
We'll keep talking to John. John, the last time I saw you, dude, we were bombing around Birmingham, weren't we, before Corona? In fact, all three of us were there, weren't we?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It was great.
I've been kind of living on those memories for this lockdown time while I've just been waiting to get back out on the board. It's only the last couple of days that I've really started to get back out there since they eased the lockdown restrictions a little bit.
Yeah, I was very jealous of your range when I was riding with you guys in Birmingham.
Well, that's the thing. You know, when you're coming out with us, we can possibly go, like on my prototypo, I'm probably getting 25 miles. On my Nazare, I'm getting more like 30. So that's the sort of ride I want to do every time I go out.
For sure. No, it's still really like a Dalek.
Come off the headphones, just go to normal mic.
Yeah, maybe he's got like low battery on his headphones or something.
Maybe.
All my batteries are fully.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yes. Now. Perfect.
You can hear me better now? No headphones.
It's really good.
All right, good. All right. Sorry about that.
Stormcore.
I'm gonna lose my headphones.
Yeah, Stormcore, man. Stormcore is so fucking fun. So Stormcore came about. Well, it first when I started to see that like Inertian was having problems, specifically that I was worried that they wouldn't be able to deliver the unities that we bought. I'm not we're not a huge operation. I can't handle like a $30,000 hit, just because some guy decides not to ship. So I was always very, very, and talking to people in the industry and other buyers who had bought them, Ernesto and Marcus and from Cali and BioBoards, trying to see, are you getting your products? Do you think he's going to deliver the next batch? Because on our side, we always shielded Inertian. All the problems that we had with the Unity, we never kicked the bag back to Inertian. We always took that upon ourselves. We repaired them ourselves. Like Inertian just sold us the product and they never heard back from us again. So we were like very good, I would like to have clients like that. That's what I'm saying. So when it became apparent that it was iffy, the situation, and that they might not deliver, that was at the end of December. And Inertian had never told us that their engineering team had left him. I learned that on the side. So at that point, I was like, the only thing that's working in this guy's company is actually like the ESC side of things. and we always stood behind that product. It's a great product. The Unity is a good ESC. It works super well. The problems we had with them, we settled them, and shit happens when you're building electronics, and it's fine. We were able to flag them and always put reliable units in our boards. And so, but at one point I was like, well, there's no other options. Like Maytech, we tried some, they broke down like, and then what else is there? There's just not a lot of like reliable suppliers. You can get a few units here and there. If you can get your hand on an Escape, for example, that's cool. But if you're looking to buy and to make a production out of it, so at that point, Jeffrey and Charles, who had left Inertian, were looking to develop a new SE. Well, they actually had been working on it already. And I was advising them, just as a former lawyer, what they should do. Just be everything kosher. Don't what you should and should not do when you leave a company in terms of starting a new product and not keeping any files and deleting all the shit that you had of Inertian. Even if you're halfway across the world, just like if you don't want any problems, just put in the little extra work it has to start from scratch, because it's fresh in your mind and nobody can take from what's in your mind. That's the general law behind it. You can never prevent someone from working. What you can prevent someone from doing is taking the files from one company and actually using them. No files. But if you have it between your head and you can actually just draft it, then fucking do it. Nobody can prevent you from doing that. Having a photographic memory is not a crime and never will be on the extreme end of the spectrum, if you understand what I mean. So then, so long story short, they had been working on it. They were hesitating between launching their own specific company, building ESCs, and selling them to OEMs such as me and a whole other bunch of board companies. And at one point, I told them, I'm going to be 100% frank with you. Like, I'm going to be your first client anyways. Like, whatever you choose to do, you can count on us to, your first few hundred units are already sold. No matter what you come up with, I'm going to buy it, because I trust those guys. Like, they're really way more intelligent than I am. They are fucking geniuses. Like, the amount of work and the knowledge that they have, the two of them together, they replace a team of like 15 people. Honestly, it's very impressive how such a small team can so. And then at one point, Jeffrey was like, well, you know what? Maybe it does make sense that we partner with LaCroix. And I was really interested in having engineers, having engineers internally, not only for the Storm Core, but these guys can do like a whole bunch of other shit. Now we're just starting. Like, the first product is the Storm Core, but yeah, there's going to be some way other products coming up. So that's how it came about. And then Jeffrey and Charles at one point said, you know what, we don't want to do this on ourselves. We don't want to do this by ourselves. We're actually going to join you. And I offered them to join the company, and the rest is history. So that's how it came about. The name Storm Core, it's Jeffrey that actually came up with it. I liked it. He had that in his mind. He was like, if he would have sold it in their own company with Charles, I think they would have called it Storm Core. And then the idea was kind of to differentiate the model, so that we came up with the 100D, 100S, 60D, and yeah, everything, like it's all their design. Like, Charles and Jeffrey, they did everything on it. We just tested them in our boards and have like a great stress test station. We built a dyno at the shop for boards where we can just and heat everything up instead of like putting ourselves in danger now. I used to do that, but I'm kind of sick of it. Falling because of electronics failing is not a way to fall, and I don't want to do that anymore. So we built a nice jig where we can get everything really toasty. Essentially, like it's all about heat management. They generate a lot of heat when you're pushing these boards, and it's all about managing it and seeing how things react. And to get an ESC and a motor like close to 100 degrees Celsius, you need to be riding pretty fucking hard. And if you're riding that hard, you want it to be reliable. So now we're going at speeds where it's just not like, nobody should be dummy testing these things. So we've got a nice jig. And yeah. What I'm really excited about the Stormcore, just to finish, is the app, because like there's no nice app. And so what we decided to do is like build an app, and instead of rushing out the Stormcore, what we're going to do is we're going to send out we're going to push out some software so that it's fully compatible with every Unity that's out there. So you won't need to have the Stormcore in your board. It will actually recognize the Unity, and you'll have your whole telemetry from like the temperature of your ESCs, the temperatures of your motor, your ride, everything, wattage, GPS, of course, speed, everything. So that's that I'm really excited about, because I feel there's Xmatic, but it's not been wholly reliable. It's not for us, it's not like with everything, the data that we want in it. So that I'm pretty excited about. And the pimped up version of this, which will come later on, the app will do everything. You'll be able to do motor detections and everything, and just like set up the board. Right now it's read only, so it's just like displaying information. But next versions, we're going to keep working with Sophia Tung. I think you all know Sophia. She's really awesome. Yeah, so she basically built the app from scratch with Jeff. They just talk and they like geek out some shit, and then it just looks great, and I'm really happy. So yeah,
she built the Unity app as well, didn't she? If I remember.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, I think
she's very, very good.
And then she stopped getting paid, and then it kind of
Well, I think that's what happens to most people at Inertian, right?
This industry.
But talking about Inertian though, I see that Jason is convinced that Jeff that the IP for the Stormcore belongs to Inertian, and obviously, you're a lawyer yourself, so I'm pretty sure that you guys are doing everything above board. And I think that there's nothing. They're not the same product. There's quite a lot of.
No, they're not, and nothing in the Stormcore belongs to Inertian. Nothing at all. Everything started from scratch, from Jeffrey. It belonged to Jeffrey and Charles, and now it's been rolled into the company. So whatever intellectual property now, it belongs to Lacroix, but it never belonged to Inertian. It was Jeffrey's and Charles only, and that I made sure of when I was advising them, and I didn't know that they would be joining the Lacroix company. I was advising them because Jeffrey was like, "Oh, I want to start a new company and sell ESCs." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man! All right, well, you need to do it right. If you don't want Jason, if you don't want any trouble with Jason, I didn't even know he was coming with Lacroix back then. But I said, you don't want any trouble, so just do this, and that, and that's what he did. So no, I'm confident. There's not a. Jason is just like, especially now, like in the last 48 hours with this like Inertian big statter. I don't know what the name of that store is. The
Raptor store, Raptor shop.
Like, what is this guy doing? Just like, he's such a train wreck, and he can't seem to like get out of the way. I'm sorry, I'm just exhausted about all this because he drains so much energy for nothing. He's just like, man, wow, you've got a whole bunch of customers who are pissed off at you because you didn't deliver, and then you're still going online and writing some fucking rants that are this big, and you're trying to sell some product on the side, and it's just like, just give it a fucking rest, bro. Just wow.
Yeah, I think I don't understand what's going on, because like a month ago it seemed like he was like, right, I'm just going to do some last interviews. We'll wrap it up. We'll talk about the wind down of Inertian. They're going to be liquidated. Blah blah blah. We'll try and get people their money back. And I was like, cool. This
good.
Make some amends here. And maybe the community eventually will accept you back as a member of our community. I don't think they would ever accept him back as a vendor. think the damage has been done there. But and then like a month later, it's like, you know, the Inertian Raptor shop selling parts again, and you know, then he's back on his old forum, even though nobody uses it anymore, and he's like ranting about the Storm Core. In fact, I think he sort of said, he suggested that you owe him money for Unities as well. I think
he did suggest that, and I'm gonna use this very nice Tribune and forum to tell him that I do not owe him a penny. We paid for every single last one Unity that came out of the shop, and when it became very apparent that the next order would not be shipped and that he would be keeping our money, just like he did with BioBoards, by the way, then I pulled the plug. So no, there were still 50 or 100 units that needed to be delivered, but I did not pay for them because I thought that he would never actually deliver them to me. And you know, a month later, announcing that he was wanting them out. So I'm very happy I never sent him that money.
Yeah, so you didn't pay for them and they didn't get delivered.
Exactly. You know, I paid for everything that was delivered.
But I mean, that's all in the past now. You've got your new controller coming out. So the LaCroix, if a LaCroix board ships today, what controller does it have? Unity still. We're still testing it, and so the advantage of having a Storm Core with the current battery configurations, the 12S boards, you wouldn't feel the difference. You wouldn't feel the difference between a Unity and a Storm Core on your board. There's no reason to swap it. There's no reason to, because the only thing that you would have had an advantage with is the app. And so we decided to make the app backwards compatible with all the Unity. So now there's no advantage whatsoever of getting the Storm Core. Not on a 12. Well, it's VESC 6 though, right? The Storm Core, it's a 3-shunt VESC. It should be a lot smoother than Unity.
It should be, but I mean, you know, John, you've tried you've been writing a Unity. The board is really smooth. How smoother can it get?
Yeah. Really? Solid. It's solid, man. Very solid.
It's like the braking is very progressive. The acceleration, you can play with throttle curves a bit I don't, you know, I just leave it as is.
So the push to 100-volt controllers then for the Storm Core.
Yes.
What do you think the advantages? Where do you see the advantages in that product in your boards compared to the older sort of 60-volt controllers?
Sounds like he's got something up his sleeve to me.
It's nuts. In theory, it was like beautiful, and in practice, it's goosebump inducing. There's the easiest way to put it is you don't need to play with gear ratios anymore. You know how right now on a 12S board, you feel a big difference whether you're putting a 16-tooth pulley or a 20-tooth pulley and everything in between. If you're used to riding a board with a 16-teeth pulley, adding one tooth to that motor pulley will actually, you'll feel a difference. And depending on if you want more top speed or you want more torque. So the advantage with the 18S board is basically that you can have the power band right now kind of goes like this, right? It's kind of on the Nazare, the board like wakes up, if you want, above maybe 15, 18, 20 miles an hour. And then it's just like, oh, okay, now I feel it. On 18S, it's right off the line. And it never stops. It's just like,
oh no. So this sounds like I need to start saving up some money.
You basically have the torque of a mountain board, but you can go way more faster than like 30 kilometers. Do you talk in miles or kilometers in UK?
Miles.
Miles?
Miles.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're kind of like mixed up here.
All right. But you can go faster than, if you're putting a 140 kV motor on a 12S board with a gear ratio that's between 1.4-1.5, you're not going above 25, even between 20 and 25 miles an hour. It'll be super quick, but then it'll just like plateau. And that's fun if you're in the forest. But if you want to like do like some big giant slalom, like 3-lane wide, and you're like getting really slow and your legs are burning and you're like, oh man, I want to give it. Then that's what the 18S, it'll just keep going that same acceleration until 45. It's theoretical. I haven't been more than 44. What
are you gearing them at for the?
That's the thing. So right now it's geared at, I'm on 16. So yesterday I tried 1672. So that's like yesterday I was on 1772. That's 4.235 ratio. And it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It feels also like, it's hard to describe. So it's really hard to describe because it's the power band is very constant now, and you can't really just like pull, like, you know how you can kind of gun the trigger on the current on a 12S board, and then at a certain point when the power band kicks in, you're like, okay, I'm going fast enough now. On this one, if you jam it, if you pull the throttle, you really need to like almost like my whole body is like outside of the board, kind of in front of it, kind of thing, and then just like, okay, man, I'm fucking hanging on. I'm excited.
So what do you think? So there's been a bit of talk about, so in the UK and in Europe we have something called the low voltage directive, I think it's called.
Yeah.
How are you guys going to sort of get around? Because I mean that sort of limits the voltage that the board could be, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. I just need to read the law and figure out how to go around it. Yeah, there's always a way.
Get around it.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that.
So I know the other guys on the LaCroix forum will want me to ask this. How long have we got to start saving our money before we need to buy the next generation of board?
I don't know. I you know how like I'm always very prudent, John? Like I don't want anyone like face planting because of the electronics. If you're face planting on our boards, it's because it's user error. That's what I want. So especially with this board, this is nuts. Like with good guys in a group ride on this board, man, we're gonna stop every four corners, just burst out laughing like I was with my brother yesterday. Was just like convulsion of like laughter, just like I can't believe what the fuck is this. Like, he couldn't believe it. He's the only guy I know who can ride with me. So we went yesterday night in a completely silent suburb, pristine asphalt, and just like cat and mouse, man, for like an hour, charge the boards back. Takes like 45 minutes to charge it. Go back out.
Wait, it takes 45 minutes to charge the board? Yeah.
But I'm burning the battery. It's like a huge 12 amp charger, which you shouldn't really use on a 12S board because it will deplete the batteries faster. But yeah,
when you own the company, it's not a problem.
It's not a huge issue. So we're just starting and going. So long story short, I'm confident. We're putting the board through the dyno. I'm testing it. We're still fiddling with a few little things, but we're very close. So it's a question. And it needs new batteries. So we'll be shifting to 21-700s, not 20-700s that we're using right now. And that doesn't seem like a big difference, but when you've got 12 batteries wide, that going from 20 to 21, it's 1 millimeter, you need 1.2 centimeters more. And if you know our boards, you don't have 1.2 centimeters more. So we need to reconfigure the whole freaking battery, make new enclosures. So that's what we're working on right now, getting that ready. So it's not ready yet. I can tell you that. Everything is in motion. I don't even have like the prototype that I have is with 2700s. It's not even with the new cells. So there's still some work to be done. I'm just testing an 18S setup. I'm not testing the 18S setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What batteries are going to be? Is it Samsung 40T? Is it? I guess you're going to be using.
No,
Moly cell?
P42A.
Yeah, Moly cell. Good choice. Good cell.
Yeah, that's what we've been reading. talking to a few guys as well in different industries, and the high-end scooter guys has been using them as well for a little while. They like it, so I think that's what we're going for. Yeah,
it's one of the.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's one of the sweethearts in the DIY electric skateboard building arena at the minute. The P42A, it's a good sell.
Yeah. It has a discharge rate that's higher than what we need. Like, I think it's rated to like 40 or 45 amps per cell, which is kind of nuts, especially when you're building like a 10P pack or like 8P pack. I mean, you don't need, but it means it will put less strains on the cell, which is good for battery, for the pack longevity. And it also means that there's improvement, in the future, because it doesn't have like the best capacity. I think it has like 4,000 milliamps.
4.2 amps, yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 4.2. So technically it should be around the same as the 2700. It's pretty good. I mean, if you want to sell that's like 5,000, the discharge rate is just unacceptable. So you can't do it.
You can't have one. You get capacity, you lose discharge, and But the P42 is a great sell, so that'd be pretty good.
Yeah. I'm glad you think so too. So
yeah, I mean, like lots of people will agree with me there.
Yeah,
but I just wanted to go back.
Dyson uses it, right? Is that English?
No idea. No idea. One of my friends works for Dyson. I'm sure if he's watching the stream, he'll pipe up. But
yes,
yeah, hey,
yeah,
Q. But I just want to go back to you're saying about you guys are taking it really steady with the controller. I mean, Jeff, John, you okay, bro?
Yeah, I just dropped that.
Jeff has. I mean, like when the Unity came out, there was some problems with certain setups, and there was like they would the motors locked up and threw people off. I think a couple of people like broke their shoulders and stuff. So I can imagine that Jeff. I mean, I've spoken to Jeff anyway about this, but he's trying to be cautious now about this new controller because there were some lessons learned with the old one. So I know for a fact that controller will be like spot on before it gets in the hands of anyone.
Yeah, we think it's pretty bomb-proof, hopefully. So, I mean, nothing is, but we go through a lot. I think I saw a question like, "Is it made in China?" Yeah, it is. I mean, we're not making it anywhere else. They have the expertise. They're actually really good at making PCBs and assembling them. What we do here in Montreal is we test them. We've got like a huge test jig where we actually test each of the unities ourselves. And if if we break it on the jig, then we're able to just swap it out. So we're sure, we do our own quality control at every step of the way to make sure that. And then when China opens back, then we might go over there and show them how to do QC. But we'll still do some QC in Montreal, even if they say the units are good. We're still going to retest them.
Yeah. And what about your new gear drive that was announced the other day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's what I know.
The gear drive. Well, I bet a lot of people are going to be hyped for that.
Yeah. I think it's. I think the gear drive is really good in probably like an off-road UK scenario where there's like a lot of mud. You're kicking a lot of like little sticks, and everything could just like get jammed in there and then just like rip the belt off. So there's that. There's the fact that with the new boards, gear ratio is not really relevant anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, what I really like right now, and we see it through our sales, is that so we offer between 16 tooth and 20 tooth in titanium, and all across that spectrum we get sales depending on what board people buy. They want to try, and then they can change their gear ratios, and you'll genuinely feel like a different ride experience. But I don't think it's relevant anymore on the. I think now what people will actually do is like tame the acceleration with the remote. How there are different modes on the remote, which nobody ever uses, or at least people I don't ride with. But now you're actually going to start using them because it's like, oh, okay, I want to feel more mellow today. Just kind of go. It'll actually make a difference because it'll make the board like less of a souped up Ferrari.
So with the new boards, is there any plans to make a LaCroix exclusive controller? Are we going to still use the third party? Have you got plans to make one yourself?
Remote, you mean? The controller?
Yeah,
Remote?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No. We have plans for that as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of, having no full-time engineers since very recently, I couldn't imagine starting to build a controller from scratch. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use the off-the-shelf, what people in the DIY like, and it'll be that. And it worked. It's still working. I love
my VX1. My VX1 works perfectly.
Yeah, it works. It works well. Honestly, it's a good little remote. We offer the Hoyt now for people in San Francisco that get a lot of disconnects and everything. So everything works well now. We've got those two remotes, but I mean, as much as I love the Hoyt, there's no screen on it. It doesn't indicate anything. The lights don't do anything. You have some haptic telemetry, right? If the Hoyt actually disconnects from the board or the remote gets a low battery, but it's not telling you anything. So there's still some room for improvement, of course. My worry is, well, not my worry, but my concern is that I've always treated remotes a little like consumables, because if you fall, I think you should just change it, because it's it's kind of your lifeline. So having a loose soldier in there, you're just like, fuck that, man, just change it. So I'm always a little iffy about $250, $300 remotes, very expensive. It's like, oof, that's you fall once, man, it's a hurt. So I'm kind of, I want the best technology in it. I'd like a screen. I think a screen is good.
That'd be cool.
So when we're gonna really zero in and focus on developing it, once this storm course starts rolling, then I'll get a better idea of what it actually looks like. But I'm going to be trying a prototype very soon, and so it should be good. It's all
Are you working with Andrew on that? Is that
no? With Andrew. Andrew's been working. Andrew at Derelict Industries, Derelict Robot.
Derelict Robot.
Yeah, good friend. Really like Andrew. I tried his OSRR remote. He had a limited run of that. I really like that remote. I really liked it. He's brilliant. So can't wait to see what he's going to come up with. But he's doing his own thing now, and he's going to be. I think his business model is going to be selling some products to the companies, to the skate.
B2B.
I'm very. I can't wait for him to just see what he comes up with and what we're going to put in our boards. Yeah, I'd actually 100% trust him. He's really.
Me too. He's going to shake. I think he's going to shake a lot of stuff up with his free skate stuff. I think you alluded to the problem earlier, and I never picked up on it, but meant to. The sort of disparate systems that we ride an electric skateboard, and we have a motor controller, we have a battery management system in there, we have a remote, and they don't all kind of talk to each other at the moment. It's all separate subsystems, but not part of a bigger system. And I think that the next 18 months, that's where it's all going, and people will want to see on their remote, on their app, they want to see the battery status, they want to see the cell level voltages, they want to know. Absolutely, we like data, man. You know what I mean? We're all this hobby is a cross between something that's really cool, skating, and something that's really geeky as well, like electronics, and
totally.
That's where it meets. And I think that people want that data, and I think that I can see the next generation of boards are all going to be interconnected, so you will be able to see those things. And I sort of see that's I can imagine the app, with all of these things going into it. I sort of see that's where it's going.
Yeah, we want to troubleshoot everything through the app, getting a BMS connected, smart BMS, not a dumb one where you know what the hell he's doing, a one where you can see each P-pack and so that's coming pretty soon as well. Yeah. We're working.
Is it? Right, that's coming to LaCroix.
Yeah.
Nice.
Times.
Everything into the app. Yeah. You'll be able to control everything.
That's pretty cool.
Our business model is not we make everything in Montreal, and now we've got a new European distributor, Lacroix Europe, which is Grega in Slovenia. So he's buying pallets of the stuff. He likes to skate, so we've been in discussion. Now he's our distributor, so he set up his own website and he's shipping directly to Europe with VAT included and no like surprise duties. You know how, John, when you bought a board, it was like, I was like, how much are you going to pay duties? I'm like, anywhere 300 to 700 pounds. I got no freaking clue, man, depending on the mood of the customs agent that day, you know? And
well, I know on that count you did me a little favor, and
no, I don't.
You
That's the thing, you know, you can't do that when you're growing and just it's becoming too much of a
yeah.
So now he's shipping everything for like less than 100 euros. I think it's 50 euros shipping everywhere in Europe. So it's much better. It'll become more affordable. You'll pay less for shipping and less for duties. There's no value in that. So you'll get a board cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the boards are already, I hope you don't mind me saying, but they're already like expensive. They're like top end. It's a hyperboard. It's like, you know, it's a top end board. So like, you know, I think is it like 4K for your top one, is it ish?
The Lone Star is 4K. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's already like, how do you see the future? I mean, because all we've known so far is boards getting more and more expensive. And now, you know, you can buy a reliable car for the price of an electric skateboard now, which is just bizarre. Like, where do you see like the future? Yeah, it wouldn't. No way. Exactly. Where do you see the future for like these like top end boards? Do you think we're now like hitting the limit, or do you think there's room to like push them?
I think in terms of electronics, we're gonna get pretty close. I don't see how physically, you know, unless you're building kind of a dragster kind of thing. I mean, for like commercial grade, even like we're a niche, right? Even the niche within our niche is like, okay, yeah, 18S board, yeah, cool. I don't think there's a need for a 2022S. I mean, I don't see what it would give.
I don't think my bank account will be able to take it.
The S's are directly proportional to the So what I see is better stability at high speeds. Right now, the board is really fun on pristine tarmac. If you're going at those speeds, you know, the difference between like, okay, a boosted board with urethane and our boards, if you're going 15, 20 miles an hour, you can kind of go. But if you're going more than 30, 35, there's no board right now that'll be like confidence inducing. That's really what I mean to say. That you're never confident. You're going to go through like a rut in the tarmac caused by a bus, and then you're going to be like, oh, close call. And so we want less of those moments and more a board that would be working for you with. I don't think we need 4 springs for one for each wheel. It's a very small device. I think with intelligent engineering, I think we can do 2 very high-end downhill mountain bike rear shocks, something like a Cane Creek double barrel, and do a design where those shocks would not be activated unless you hit something pretty hard at a certain speed, and the board would be really tuned for the rider weight the same way a high-end downhill mountain bike would be. And so the suspension would not be acting 90% of the time, would be doing nothing. And then once you hit those bumps, then it would kind of do its magic. So that's how I imagine it. We've got some sketches made. I'm not entirely satisfied with them. I haven't got a prototype going yet, but that's what I imagine, especially going now. You know how, John, the board that you have got you comfortable going at much higher speeds? Well, it's going to bring that up a notch again with the 18S. Yesterday was completely crazy with my brother. So it's just like we couldn't believe that we just got comfortable. And I was telling him, get down, man. We're going so fast. Get your center of gravity down. Don't get comfortable, you know, going 45, don't get comfortable.
I think that's easy to do. The more you go out on the board and the faster you get, the more comfortable you feel.
Exactly.
And before you know it, you get back and you're looking at your average speed on Unity app or whatever app you're using. You think, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Did I really? That's that speed.
I showed him the Stormcore app. He was like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, man. And the watt hour, the consumption was just off the freaking charts, like 100 watt hours per kilometer. It's just like, okay. Yeah.
What?
Just nuts. Like
I've never seen anything like that before.
Nuts. So
that's like my mountain board when I'm like, and I'm a big guy, when I push it like on the tracks that we race on, I can do 50 watt per mile, 50 watt hours per mile, yeah, and like, but 100 is per kilometer is just crazy.
I'm pushing that.
It was a lot of fun. So what I see is, and I'd like to see like developments in the protection as well. I'm actually thinking of buying like a Ducati. Have you seen these? The vests, airbag vests for motorcycles. I'm like, honestly, I'm thinking about it now. They're like $1,300, but I'm like, honestly, if I fall at that speed, maybe I'd just like to like land on a cushion. I don't know.
If you're doing like 40 miles an hour, that's that is potentially fatal speeds to have an accident at.
And I'm wearing a motorcycle helmet. Everything is motorcycle. Like we're really crouching really, really low. So like quads were burning. First question I asked my brother yesterday, it's the first time he tested the prototypes. It was like, are you in shape? He's like, man, I've been getting in shape for 4 months. I've
been training for this new board for months.
And it was like, it was as intense as like an hour in the gym doing like high intensity interval workouts. We were completely soaked. So that's the kind of adrenaline so I to answer your question, I think that a board that becomes more stable, right now it's good, but there's definitely something to do with springs. I don't know how, but that's what we're going to be working on. And that won't be cheap. One King Creek double barrel is like $400 cost.
Wow.
Like that's like, so you imagine that if it works and we make it work well, then you'll get onto the board and your wheels will be like this, and then you'll just get on it and your wheels, the board will be for your weight kind of thing, kind of a high-end mountain bike. But you can buy a high-end mountain bike that's not electric for like 10 grand. It's just people are
feeling that if anyone's looking for a kidney out there within the next 12 months, I'm probably going to be selling one. So just get at me, hit me in the DM, Twitter, buy a kidney right here.
That's funny. That's very funny.
I can't wait to see
what I see, and the gear drive, of course, having and then we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have fun with the fact that we can put any freaking wheel we want. I think someone kind of figured it out, but we bought some huge freaking beach tires that are like 16 inches big, 28 tires this wide. So I want to get some axles made and see how that feels on the beach.
Nuts.
Yeah, no, not to go fast, just to like cruise around and
have fun.
I mean, you have the board; it's right there. You just change the axles. You're there for a weekend. You want to go on the beach. It's very soft sand. Just go have fun with it. So that's kind of like the ideas we've been experimenting with, and what I like to see.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I'd be surprised if people want to take their £4,000 board on the beach. Like, but you never know.
Well, I did today, dude. So I was on the beach. I was in the woods. I was on hard tarmac. The board did all 3 terrains today, and it was still fighting fit at the end of it.
Yeah.
Sand, bro. Sand is like not good for boards. It's not a good idea.
No, for sure. So that's why sand is bad, but with the gear drive, we'd be good. Everything is sealed up, right?
Yeah, everything's sealed in the gear drive. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. We saw those. Well, have you released a render or anything of the gear drives yet?
No.
Nothing.
No, nothing. I'm going to be testing the first prototype. That one is getting fully made right now. There's a lot of tinkering to do with I don't think tinkering is the right word, but iterations to do with teeth. We want it to be the best, right? So if we're putting in our boards, it's got to be silent, reliable, to install, everything. So we got to make sure it's right. If it sounds like a freaking helicopter, then there's no point in doing it.
So you're going to go helical then, I guess?
No.
Oh, you're going straight?
No.
Oh, okay. Maybe herringbone, double herringbone or something then. Double herringbone gears. I mean, they're just like, yeah. I mean, those are expensive to make, man, you know, to make those gears.
Yeah.
Double
herringbone on the board is the best, so we need the best gear drive.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's already like the guys at Haggy have already got like a double. If people don't know what that is, it's like gears that are shaped like this. If you look along the profile, so it's like all the way around. And so a helical gear, like if you don't know, guys, is like it's a gear that's cut at an angle and it has certain advantages for doing that, but it also has some disadvantages, and that is it puts pressure across the gear. We call it axial load. The double herringbone actually solves that by having two angles, so it pushes both ways. So it's like super cool, and it's kind of new to the scene. Like I said, one gear drive that does that.
The next generation of e-skate wizards.
He doesn't speak English. He has no clue. He just wake up from his nap. He's like, what are those four guys? Lui, il s'appelle Tim. His name is Tim. Ça, c'est Lee. Ça, c'est John. Tu dis bonjour?
Bonjour. Bonjour.
Et mon fils,
bonjour. C'est va?
Et aux États-Unis?
Non, ils sont en Angleterre. I'm explaining you're in England. He's like, are they in the United States? I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Tim, you've got loads of community questions, bro. We shouldn't like hog the stream with like tech questions.
No, it's cool because it's stuff that everyone wants to know. But I was going to say we're kind of approaching the hour, so can I just do like a quick fire like round of questions?
Sure, I can read them and just answer them. Bang, 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 bang. If you want.
I've got a few on them that have been sent.
Go ahead.
Drive we covered. Can we expect any upgrades this year?
Upgrades. Define upgrades.
This is
like
what they
upgrades to the current boards.
So we're going to keep the current lineup. Just want to make that clear. Yeah, no, the 12S boards are good. They're staying. We're going to add to them. We're keeping the but upgrades. Gear drive.
Okay.
That would be one that we hope to deliver. On the current boards, I don't consider the Stormcore an upgrade. I think you would be just wasting your money. So because it works well. So no, that's it.
Okay. Do you know a rough launch date for LaCroix 3.0?
For what? LaCroix?
Your next LaCroix.
The next one. The next iteration.
Hopefully this summer. Hopefully.
Oh wow!
This summer.
That's pretty soon.
Hopefully.
So that kidney's up for sale tomorrow. If anyone wants it.
Excellent. John, I've got someone's asking how tall are you because you're like
6 feet.
Massive.
Yeah.
6 feet. Yep.
John.
Me? Oh, I'm 6'6".
6 feet.
Christ.
6 feet. So that was one of my main reasons for really upgrading to LaCroix, just because I thought it was the only board that would be able to drag my fat ass around.
That's awesome.
Fair enough, man. Have you ever thought about selling a handle for the rear of the Nazaire?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, we have so much projects. Like that would be just pouring resources into something that's not so. I mean, you can DIY one fairly easily. There's a
get one. I think there's quite a few guys who've got them already.
Some guys have done some really nice stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't.
Okay. Per capita, the UK seems to have the largest fan base for LaCroix. Will you come and do an event or group ride here someday?
Oh yeah, for sure. We were talking about it right. It was on my to-do list this summer. So hopefully there's scientists that are not watching this and trying to get a vaccine done, and that would be very quick. But no. It's 100%. London is on my list, and wherever you guys wanna go. Yeah. No.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Do a full UK tour.
Yeah.
We'll look after you, bro. We'll look after you.
I love single malt as well, so we can go up north. We can go to the
Oh
island.
yeah, we're getting some good stuff up in Scotland.
Yeah. We can do some speed runs on the Isle of Man.
We can if you want to like coordinate with us, we can set something up, I'm sure.
No worries.
Cool. What is your favorite setup for shock blocks? Do you run more preload on heel side?
Good question.
Yeah. So I ride my board. How do I? Oh, that's going to be tough on the screen. I put my feet. So I'm regular. I'm not goofy, and my left feet is on the top left corner of the board at 1030, and my rear feet is at 430 on the bottom right corner. So I have leverage depending on how I turn. If I turn on the right side, I have leverage with my back foot, but I have absolutely no leverage with my front foot. So I would put the side on which I don't have any leverage, the side on which my feet is not, I would put a softer preload. And then because when I turn, then I have all that leverage on my feet, kind of thing. So it's a movement of front to back, very imperceptible. But when I'm leaning from side to side, I'm also leaning slightly from front to back to put some pressure on the foot that has the leverage. So I usually run yellows and reds on regular board, but yesterday it was green and white, which are stiffer and with a little preload as well, because we didn't want any wobbles at speed. So
sure. Yeah. Why is the LaCroix backpack only available in Canada?
Frickin' distribution contracts. The way these companies work, huge companies, they slice up the world between different distributors, and the distributors hate when products cross from one territory to the next. So the US distributor would be very angry if a bag came from Canada because he's not making any money on it. It's purely contractual. It's BS, to tell you the truth, but it's what we're caught.
Are they available in the UK?
What's that? Sorry?
Are they available in the UK?
I like so, but to be honest, like the bag was convenient to carry a prototipo 25-pound board.
Okay.
Not a Nazare, probably not, and a Lone Star, maybe just to make your friends laugh.
Good trainer for the Lone Star.
There's no way to.
You don't want to be carrying that.
Like portability it's not on our list of priorities. Simply not.
Have you ever
ride it, not carry it?
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, Tim.
Have you ever tried 7-inch tires on the Nazare?
I don't like them anymore. I have, but the streets here are not nice enough. 8-inch is confidence inducing for me. Yeah, I hit a big pothole, or a pothole that's been patched up, and that's terrible. And I like the 8-inch. I can just like roll through. I'd probably go bigger if I had a choice.
Okay.
But
are you going to put an up-to-date 4G tracker in the board instead of 2G?
I don't know. There's a question of space. So priority right now is putting a smart BMS in the boards. A BMS, it's not super useful for riders, but it's very useful for us when troubleshooting, especially when we have issues with batteries, to see if there's a P-pack, if something's unwelded. If something's gone wrong with the battery, we don't need to ask the client to be like, okay, take the sense connector out of the BMS and like poke it with a, not everyone is very technically inclined. So that's our priority. But a smart BMS it's like putting a big it's huge. They're huge. So we don't have space anymore. Despite boards are big, but we don't have space. So I think, and the GPS, because it's 2G, I feel it's nice to have in there, but I feel like maybe 1% of our clients have actually activated it. It sounded like a great idea when we developed it, but now it's like it works in half the countries. It doesn't work so good. So we're still putting it in there because we say we would, but next iteration of the board, we're probably going to do away with 2G. And if there's space, maybe 4G, but I don't know, like stealing skateboards. If you know, John, it's pretty heavy. And if you don't have a remote, if you're stealing a,
you would have to fight me to the death to take my board, literally. If I was riding my board and someone tried to take it, they would have a hell of a fight on their hands.
Exactly.
No one's trying to take your board, John. Don't worry, bro.
Somebody's trying to get the only kidney you have left. Come here.
I've only got one. I can't get another one.
So yeah, no, I don't. I think it was nice. It was a nice to have, as you know. But no, I think it's one of the first things that's going to be kicked out.
Okay, interesting. So last one. Any chance of a lightweight, mid-range, super nimble, fast board in your lineup?
Yep.
Yeah, it's called the prototypo.
Yep. Exactly. Coming back. Yeah.
It's coming back.
We're coming back to a smaller board. Once we're going to stop dabbling in the hyper crazy performance stuff, we're going to trickle down all that technology into a smaller budget.
Evolve Killer.
Call it like you want. Yeah. I think, you know, Jeffrey and I get really excited just talking about the idea of doing a budget board, because we know exactly what we want to do. Like, we know what people want, we know what we would want, we know everything. So it's just a matter of time. The thing is that the way we're building boards right now and always innovating, there's a lot of engineering that goes into it. And okay, telling me he just saw a Lamborghini. So the way we develop the products right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. We're always innovating and doing things that, you know, haven't been done. And, you know, the same. I was explaining the suspension setup on a truck. It's people say, oh, you're going to do like a mountain board or a Baja. It's like, no, it's really not the same idea. You see how stiff a Formula One is, but when you look at it at slow-mo at 300 kilometers an hour, it looks like the suspension is going like this. That's the kind of idea that I have with the boards, only activated in very precise conditions to get you out of those what the fuck moment. And actually, when you see that the road will actually get bad, you can like hit the throttle and like, yeah, man, just smash it kind of thing. That's an experience that nobody's ever, you know, and it requires a lot of tinkering, a lot of versions, a lot of innovation. So long story short, that's why our boards are expensive right now. We're doing a lot of stuff that you know, just requires a lot of iterations. But on a budget board, then you build the board completely differently. You look at every single step of the way. You know, how can I optimize? How can I cut costs here? How can I cut costs there while still maintaining the quality that you want, kind of thing. And that's something, quite honestly, that we've never done until now. So once we start doing that, yeah. But I think it's important just to like get more people on the boards. You know, not everyone can afford a very expensive board, so I think it's important.
Okay, interesting. Is there any other comments, the questions in the chat you want to address quickly before we move on?
Let me see. Sacre bleu, that's funny. Top speed, it's, yeah. When I was talking about 45 miles, yeah, 45 was 45 miles. So close to 70 an hour. Service center in the UK. No, the service center will be in Slovenia.
Okay.
For now, we were in discussion with a shop in the UK, which is no longer, it seems. So we will be rediscussing that with the Carve guys, and yeah, we'll figure it out. But you know, John has had some issues. Our business model right now is like to make repairs very easy. We never ship back any boards to Canada. We never ask our client to do any soldering. So what we do is that we just send parts, and then we do a tutorial to kind of plug everything in. And if there's a problem with the battery, then we have repair agents everywhere where we ask you to send the board, we get the battery repaired, we send it back. So that's been working well. Like the repair center, except for like having a beer maybe with a guy and just having a nice chat, it wouldn't bring much right now. We don't have a volume of issues, knock on wood, that justifies it. Is there plans for a better board tracker that will give you real-time tracking like a car? Yeah. Absolutely. This app, the Stormcore app, will do all that. So odometer, speedometer, that will also work on the Apple Watch.
Nice.
Like we have a fly-by-wire with bus controller. Oh, you'd have to ask Jeffrey that. I got no clue. Derelict Robot is the dude with the Kelly, like color chart. Yes, he is.
That is awesome.
He's the guy that's always arguing on the forums. You can find him easily. God love him. Will you consider having straps on the new board?
No,
I'm not a fan of. I like to be able to bail if I need to like run off and not be anchored to like some 50-pound weight. Like no. You can install them, but no, I don't. It's not. No, I don't think so.
The high-speed bails I've had, I like to be able to get to my knee pads pretty quick and just slide on my wrist guard and my knee pads.
Right.
If you're trying to run at that speed or fall, you got no chance. Just need to slide.
Yeah. No worry, Jamie. My pleasure. Am I the only one seeing that on the screen?
No.
Yeah.
All right, Lee, have you tried straps?
I only ride with straps. Normally, I ride an electric mountain board. I've never ridden a LaCroix. I would love to have a go, but I've never had the opportunity.
I've done mine anytime, brother.
And
yeah, I need to come down and see you, John. But yeah, I ride the electric mountain board.
Tipo, or you can ride the Nazare, whichever one you like.
Sounds great, Brian. Yeah,
Alex,
I ride a DIY electric mountain board.
Sorry, Lee, I'm interrupting. Do you use the straps mainly because you go off-road, or is it because you get a better lean angle and you're really able to torque it on like heavier bushings?
Both. I mean, they're just like, you get double the control, maybe even more out of straps than you would normally, because obviously you're not just using the bottom of your foot for control. You're now using every single part of your foot. Yeah. So I'm completely strapped in, not just with the foot straps. I use the heel straps as well. I'm like, if I'm bailing, I'm going down with the board like at high speed or whatever. And I just prefer that to, yeah, I know. But to be honest, the straps like have got me out of more problems than they've put me into. Yeah. So it's always good to be able to just jump or like just pull that front foot really hard, and get you out of like many situations. So I like the straps, but yeah,
especially off-road, right? Yeah, I can see that.
It's essential. For off-road, it's essential. But I mean, like John will tell you, when we did the Birmingham group ride, I was in the city, fully strapped in, jumping up and down the curbs and just prattling around, jumping over the speed bumps. That's what I like to do, man.
I guess when you get used to it, then there's no going back for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
He doesn't. Alex, can you talk to us about direct drives? Direct drive. No. What's the? Are there any other questions that you see that I haven't really answered? I don't think so. Gear drive, yes. Oh, Nelson is there. Yeah. Hey, Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson's always here, man.
He's saluto. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Nice to see him. Do you get along with the other top-end brands? Have you collaborated in any project? Will you consider it in the future? Yeah, we get along great. They're going to put the Stormcores in all their boards, so I think that's a great testament to that. I've talked to Ernesto. We share information. When I was low on unities, he was very gracious and sent me some. And no, we have a very good relationship.
That's excellent. Ben's got a great question there. So you've got a new signing, Moja.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very excited. It started out as a weird thing where we had an issue with a Lone Star in Paris, and the client had been really patient. So he tried troubleshooting 2, 3, 4 things. We just couldn't figure out what was going on. There was an issue with his battery, I think. So we just sent him a new Lone Star. So we had a broken Lone Star that needed some expertise. So I was thinking about sending that demo board to Wick, getting him repaired, and then I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to send it to Moja, and he's going to repair it and then do a whole bunch of funky shit with it. So yeah, pretty happy. He seemed like a great guy. I've spoken to him a few times. I know him more about his online presence than anything. But yeah, I'm very excited to be pushing the limit, getting his feedback as well. I've been talking to him about the high voltage stuff. Can't wait to get him on it. So
he's going to destroy that Lone Star. I can guarantee it, because he's just
We're
mental.
actually going out Tuesday in Epping Forest. I'm meeting up with Moja near London, and we're going out shredding. So should be
Epping Forest.
Yeah, Epping Forest, just north of London.
Yeah,
I've got a new drone to take out. I think we're going to go and shred and try and get some good footage.
You got a Skydio?
No, I've got a Mavic Air 2, the newest, the new DJI one.
Is the auto track good?
Yeah, well, it's Auto Track 3.0, so it's the newest iteration of the DJI version. So we're going to go put it through its paces on Tuesday with some high-speed LaCroix action.
Nice. Be sure to share that on the forum. Yeah.
Oh, we will, definitely. Oh, well, anything with Mojo on it, there's bound to be some exciting footage to share.
Yeah. John, that's how I broke my arm. As I was
don't kill yourself.
What, in Epping Forest?
No, I was filming around Olympic Park, him and Aaron. So he rides like a loon, and I was trying to keep up with him, and I just yeah. So that's what caused the accident. It was like chasing Mojo.
I'm sure I'll have fun trying to keep up.
Yeah, good luck. I'm trying fast, man.
Well, if I can't keep up, I'm sure the drone will, for sure.
Yeah. It seems that I had the Mavic Air, but the follow me mode was kind of like, there's a 3.
Yeah.
It's like, no. It's a little bit too like Super Mario Brothers kind of version of auto track.
Well, this is the 3.0, so it's the new, it's meant to be even better than they've got in the Mavic 2 Pro. So it should be interesting to see.
Can't wait to see. Yeah, for sure. Are there any other questions that I missed down? So will the gears be sealed? Yeah, the gears will be sealed. No. There's not going to be any stooge board, exposed gear, flesh shredding shit going on. I like his steampunk version of the whole thing, though. It's pretty cool. But no. It needs to be safe. I mean, exposed gears is just a lot of trouble waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun if you're racing with professionals, but we're not all professional. So, AT and street wheels. Oh yeah, urethane. Yeah, I was talking about the big urethane retrofit kit for the Hypertrucks. Huge urethane 130s.
130 mil.
Yeah, was that
130 mil wheels?
Yeah.
Ooh. Who's going to be making those?
Custom, made in California for LaCroix.
Oh, nice. So Labetta type. Nice. Yeah. Do you, I don't want to say too much. Can you give us a? Can you give us a Joro? Yeah.
It's funny. We're still working.
Give us a Joro.
Working on the core with Pedro and getting all the. But yeah, we should do that. So we're going to send 4 axles and 4 wheels with a gear, so you'll be able to swap it if easy swap. Ideally, you won't even need to swap the axles. Ideally.
So will that work on the current iteration of the board, or is that going to be something only on the new boards?
It will likely work better on the Nazare than on the Lone Star, because
that makes me happy.
Yeah, you'll need to change the top truck. The red part of your truck, you'll need to put a blue one so that you get a little more ride height. But all that remains to be seen. 130 is pretty big. Just need to see if it's big enough. And then above 130, it seems to be a bit too big. So we'll see.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
I know we've run over quite a bit. Lee or John, is there anything you want to kind of go over?
For me, just I was just wanted to say, super hyped to see what LaCroix produced. Now you've got like an all-star engineering team. You've got the right guys there, and yeah, man,
Very
it's been
excited.
a pleasure to speak to you from my position here. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Lee. I'll be sure to send you a storm core so you can test that in the forest.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
He will definitely put it through his paces.
Sincere pleasure to talk to all of you, and keep fighting the good fight in the UK. And I hope to see you very, very soon when we come. And let's discuss offline a bit more and do some scheduling and get some ideas going about getting a better presence in the UK. I think you guys are very well placed to advise me on that.
Are you okay to hang out 2 minutes after the stream?
Was that?
Are you okay to hang out for a couple minutes after the stream?
Yeah, for sure. It's early here. It's early. I haven't even had a beer yet, so I'm all good.
Cool. Well, I mean, we've been going nearly an hour and a half, so we'll probably wrap it up so we don't drag on too long.
Absolutely.
But definitely be really good to have you back. Thank you for coming on your time.
Thank you so much.
Super excited to see what you bring next. Really excited.
I share
I'm excited. My bank account is nervous.
I'm gonna buy your kidney, John. I'm gonna buy your kidney.
Thank you.
Yeah. Put it in a jar behind me, right there.
I'll just swap you straight swap for the board.
All right, guys. Great seeing you. Thank you again.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.